Hello reptile friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is India, aka Anacondrac, and you're gonna have to excuse me, I am literally wearing a blanket because it is freezing. Anyway, to distract me from the cold, I thought I would do a bit more of a fun video today and talk to you about my top 10 reptiles that I would love to own one day. Now this definitely doesn't mean that I'm just going to go and walk to my pet shop and buy 10 animals like next week. No, these are just some of the animals that throughout my lifetime I would love to have the opportunity to own or to work with, just to spend a lot of time with. They really fascinate me. All reptiles fascinate me, but these are the top 10 that someday I would love to own. And also, don't go out and buy these animals just because I like them. Do your own research, and if you are thinking about getting a reptile, make sure that you get one that you have the time and the money for and that you would love, you know? Also, these aren't in any kind of particular order, by the way. They're just the ones that I would like to own someday. So with that being said, number 10 is, drumroll please, a Tokay Gecko. Now, if anybody has had the chance to talk to me, I will go on and on about how much I would love to own a Tokay Gecko. I love their blue and red coloration. I love the fact that they are really sassy. I love the fact they will bark at you. I love everything about them. They seem to have a load of personality, and I adore animals that have a lot of character. They're just... one day I will have a Tokay Gecko and it will be amazing. I would love to do like some amazing bioactive gecko enclosures. That's definitely one of my visions that I would like to make a reality in the not too far distant future. Yeah, I want to get some geckos. And with that being said, number 9 is a crested gecko. Again, I love their little characters. I love their big eyes and their little sticky feet. I love crested geckos. I wouldn't care what morph. I would just love the chance to own a crested gecko of my own. I love watching everybody else's crested geckos on YouTube. I think they're just so cute. I love the fact it looks like they've got little eyelashes. I love crested geckos so much. Geckos, generally geckos. Number 8 is our first snake of the list. I would love a milk snake. Any species, I don't mind. I just love milk snakes. Now, fun fact, before I got Louis, I actually fully intended on getting a milk snake for my first snake. So I definitely don't regret not getting a milk snake. I'm so happy I got Louis, but I would still love the chance to have a milk snake one day. Maybe Honduran, I'm not sure. I like the fact that the Honduran ones do get a little bit bigger, but maybe one day I will find a milk snake of any variety in a rescue and I will love it. I love their bright colours. I love milk snakes. I don't know what to say. They are probably one of my favourite animals of all time. I love milk snakes. Now, number 7 on my list is actually quite closely related to the milk snake, and that is the Mexican black king snake. Now, I know everybody has Mexican black king snakes these days. They are so cool looking. They are just jet black with kind of like an iridescent sheen, like a pearly sheen. They are just beautiful and I want the chance to own one. So whether or not my dream will become a reality of ever owning a Mexican black king snake, I'm not sure. But in the meantime, I will just cry over the Instagram posts of everybody else's Mexican black king snakes. I want one so badly. So number 6 on my list is the Boa Constrictor Imperator, or a BCI. I love big snakes, and I think a Boa Constrictor, a BCI, would probably be the largest snake that I would feel comfortable handling by myself without somebody in the room to make sure that nothing happened. I am quite a small person and I love big snakes. I just don't personally think I have the ability to handle something like a Burmese python or a tick safely. I would always want to be able to handle my pets alone, because a lot of the time it is just me looking after my pets, cleaning them out and spending time with them. And I think the largest snake that I would be able to do that safely by myself, it would be something like a BCI. I would need a lot bigger of a house to have a BCI. I would want to do like a 6-7 foot long enclosure. Like the things that I could do in an enclosure that big, I would just love the opportunity to design something like that. But yeah, I don't know whether or not I'll ever be in a house or a space big enough to make that dream a reality. But yeah, one day I would love to have a BCI. I have seen loads in rescues and I just know I don't have the space to look after one at the moment. It's not fair on the snake. So I have seen a lot of adult ones in rescues of pretty amazing morphs and colours as well. I think people just buy them and don't do their research and don't realise how big and strong these things actually are. But yeah, so that is number 6. Number 5 is a tortoise any kind of tortoise, I don't mind. Again, I have seen so many of these guys in rescues. It breaks my heart when I see them. I would probably never ever buy a tortoise when I've seen so many in rescues. Like, I would just love to be able to give so much time to one of these little guys, because they can live like, you know, they can live so long. I knew a lady and she'd had her tortoise Georgina for about 50 years, and I think Georgina was 30 when they actually took her in. So the tortoise was about 80 years old now. They didn't know her approximate age. They are such magnificent creatures. I would love the ability to have the time and the money and the effort to dedicate to a tortoise. I love them. I really, really love them. I think they are such fascinating creatures. I've never owned any kind of Chelonia. Maybe one day I will rescue a tortoise. Today is not that day, but maybe one day in the future.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So we are moving down our list onto some of the more exotic animals, and with that being said, number 6 is a green tree python. I've seen everybody else's green tree pythons on Twitter and on Instagram, and I would love, absolutely love to have the chance to own one. Again, I would want to do a massive bioactive tank. I can just imagine the possibilities. It doesn't really put me off the fact that these are animals that don't usually like to be handled. I would be more than happy to just design an amazing enclosure and just let it chill and be itself and be happy with not being handled. That would be fine by me, as long as I could get it in and out of the enclosure safely, to clean out the enclosure and to take it for vet visits. That's fine. I would really love to have the opportunity to look after any green tree python. I really, really would. They fascinate me, the way they go through different colour changes as they grow up and as they age. I think they're beautiful. My favourite ones are the ones that start out as red and then go to green. And you do have to be quite careful, I think, with green tree pythons, that you are getting captive bred, not wild caught. But so if I did have the opportunity at some point to get a captive bred one, that would be amazing. I would never get one that was wild caught. It would have to be captive bred. Maybe one day. I'm saying that, like, maybe one day for all these animals, but that's true. You know, I'm not in any position to walk out into the pet shop now and go and buy like a tortoise or a green tree python. I don't have the money or the time or the resources at the moment. I'm more than happy with the animals that I have. I like enthusing about animals with you guys, and so I thought I would take the time to just list all the animals that I love. One day, maybe one day, I will get the chance to work with them because they make me so happy. Animals are literally my reason for getting out of bed in the morning. Literally the first thing that I do in the morning is I roll out of bed, I stick my glasses on, stumble downstairs, kettle on, and then I go and see Spyro and Sparksy, my two bearded dragons, and I make sure that I have refilled both their food bowls, make sure that, you know, the lights are on in each vivarium and everyone's clean, and then I come back to them a little bit later out and give them like a full clean and polish. But literally the first thing that I do in the morning is roll out of bed, kettle on, and go and see the lizards. Animals are literally my life. They are my joy. They are the reason that I get out of bed. So sorry, I know that was a bit of a ramble, but I love animals so much. I can't even, I think I might have had too much coffee today. Oh, 3 to go, and with that being said, number 8 is a Panther Chameleon. I would love to own a Panther Chameleon one day. I would love to own any chameleon, really. I definitely don't have enough lizards in my life. My 2 lizards at the moment are my 2 bearded dragons. I would love the opportunity to expand my knowledge of lizards and own a couple of different varieties during my lifetime. Chameleons are massive responsibilities, I know that. They often do not like being handled, and they need a pretty substantial size enclosure. For a chameleon, I wouldn't just want to get the minimum enclosure, I would want to have like a massive custom built job. Yeah, maybe one day. They require a hell of a lot of upkeep, I know that. I'm just not in the position right now to have one, but I think they are probably one of the most stunning animals in the entire world. How did nature design something as cool as a chameleon? Like, how did that even exist? They have eyes that point in different directions, and I love their little feet. I love their little feet, and the fact that they just change colour is like mind-blowing. How did nature come up with something like that? It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, I prefer panthers over other species of chameleon, but I wouldn't say no to any of them, let's be real. I would just want to make sure that I was getting the right species for me at that time, and that I could care for it in the right way, and yeah, all of that lovely stuff. Speaking of lizards, number 9 is a green iguana. Now this is probably one that I will never get, and I am fine with that, but I thought I would put them on the list because I love them so much. They are such hard work. I know I have met people who own iguanas. I think they're amazing. I think they are truly wonderful creatures, but green iguanas I know take up so much time and take up so much effort, and I don't know if I would be able to divide my time up enough to be able to care for one while caring for other animals. Maybe one day, if I don't have any more reptiles, I will get a green iguana as like my only animal, my only pet, because they just require so much time. I would be afraid that I wasn't doing it justice. I am so paranoid about not doing the best for my animals. Literally the only thing in life that matters to me is making sure my animals are happy. They come before everything else. So before I get an animal, I really do ask myself, like, do I have the time? Do I have the money? Do I have the space? Do I have the resources? Like, getting a green iguana is such a massive decision. I just don't know if I could answer yes to all of those questions. I don't know, I love them so much. They are such majestic creatures. I would truly love one. And number 10, you guys probably all know at this stage what number 10 is going to be on my list, and that is a Rhino Rat Snake. I have enthused about Rhino Rat Snakes so much on my channel, I know, but they're literally like my favourite creatures. They are my favourite reptile, probably. I love them. I love the way they start off as like a brown, and then they go to grey, and then they go to green, and then they have the little horn that nobody knows. Like, scientists don't know why they have evolved to have the horn. They really don't know. So they just intrigue me. They just look absolutely beautiful. I would love the opportunity to have one, and I have found a breeder, so hopefully if I can move out this year I will get a Rhino Rat Snake. That would be life-changing for me. I'd love to have a Rhino Rat Snake. They're my favourite animal ever. Like, yeah, there aren't very many breeders of them in the UK, but I have found a few, so fingers crossed within the next couple of months. I just need to move out first before I get any more animals, because I'm completely done at the moment. All my space is filled. I haven't got any more room for reptiles. The last bit of space I had was taken up when I took in Tiny, my rescue corn snake, and then I've got a few little tanks as well for like praying mantises and that, but they don't take up like too much space. I definitely do not have any more space for reptiles. I can't take in any geckos, any more snakes until I move out, and even then I do have to ask myself, like, do I have the money? Do I have the time? I have to ask myself all the important questions before getting any more animals, and I would encourage you to do the same. Never just impulse buy anything. Always ask yourself, is it fair on the animal if you got it right now? If the answer is no, that you don't have enough time, or you don't have enough money or space, whatever, just delay getting it. It doesn't have to be forever. Wait a couple of months, wait a year, and then reevaluate and see if it's the right time for you to get one then. Doesn't have to be no forever. That's the same for me. It's not the time for me to get any of these animals right now. In a couple of months, in a year, you know, maybe. It's not a forever no. It's just not the right time for me right now. So yeah, I know this was a bit of a rambly, odd video, but it's so cold. I just kind of wanted to sit down in front of the camera and chat rather than get animals out, because when the temperature's like this, it's not fair on them. They deserve to stay in their nice warm vivariums. So if you like me and you haven't had enough of me already, please consider following me on Twitter and Instagram. My name on both of those is Anachondriac, the same way it's spelt here on YouTube. If you like reptiles and the colour yellow, then you will definitely love my Instagram feed, just saying. So you should go and check me out right now. If you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. You can also give me a big thumbs up and click the little bell notification button, and then you will never miss one of my uploads. And if you want to support my channel, the link to my Patreon is in the description. Until next time guys, I'll see you later. Bye!